Hello and welcome. Welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. I have two Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys. This is Jim Beam Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. You probably heard of it. They went back to the white cap, but they had black caps for a good number of years here, maybe about 8 years. But they probably do that to make sure they're rotating stuff out. But anyway, this is from James B. Beam Distilling Company. Beam, Claremont, and Frankfort, Kentucky. I don't know where Beam, Kentucky is. I looked it up on a map. I couldn't find it. Age 4 years. There's no age statement on the bottle, but I know it's age 4 years because it says on the website. Here's the screen share on that. You see the new label with the white cap. Instead of gray pen and ink drawing in the back, they got a gold pen and ink drawing in the back, so they have to do the label. Oh well, same product. It's heavy on grain and oak, light on sweet, char, and fruit. So you should be taste grain and oak and not too much sweetness, char, or fruit. Oaky vanilla, spicy backdrop. Flavor. Medium bodied, mellow hints of caramel and vanilla. That's the global website. Still using Flavor. Okay. Elegant, smooth. That's what 4 years of aging in newly charred oak barrels will get you. See, so there you go. Don't say it on the bottle, but it says it on the website. 4, like they used to say on television commercials, 4 long years, twice as long as required. Well, that's true. It's twice as long as required. Now it says Beam Suntory, but they need to update that because on May 1st it became Suntory Global Spirits. So Beam Suntory is now Suntory Global Spirits. All right. So you can also buy some higher hat Beam, such as Double Oak, Rye, Devil's Jim Beam Black, age 7 years. One used to be Jim Beam Black Extra. Jim Beam double single barrel, which I've not seen around here. There's that's it. Or you can get those flavored ones: honey, vanilla, apple, red, stag. So bourbon cream liqueur, still see that around. Repeal batch, don't see that anymore. Old Tub, really see that anymore. Okay, and there's a new Jim Beam white label rye, which they're not showing yet, but I'm sure they're going to add it soon to the label. All right, KS, good evening, Ron. Good evening to you, KS. Hector says, Ronald did not. My Bush can was so old, but it fine, tasted okay. I would reshoot it, though, if I were you. No big deal, delete the video, reshoot it. That's just what I would do. Because you can get Bush so common, but I did watch the videos, Still Reserve Alloy series, and so forth. Okay. So we got Jim Beam bourbon. Here's the competitor, very old Barton. There's no website to show you. They deleted their website this month, the greatbourbons.com. So you have to trust me. It exists. I bought it. Here's the bottle. Here's the proof. It was I think it was $11.99 in Pascagoula, Mississippi. And this is still $11.99 at Total Wine and More. $11.99 full-size bottle. Well, this is a half size. I paid $4.99 for that. They had it on special. $9.98 for a $7.50. So I bought 2 of them, $9.98. But you don't see it that low usually. Urjo says, please do some interviews with local distillers and brewers. I might do that, but you know what? Honestly, I don't really watch those kind of things. I don't really watch brewery tours. I mean, I do occasionally. Like I watched that Red Stripe Brewery tour. It was a pretty long video, and it's fascinating. She made it in 4 parts. Actually, it was a 4-part video. They went. This lady went to Jamaica and she recorded the whole tour, and it was really nice. Desno and Getty's brewery. But I don't know, man. I hate to produce something that I don't watch. You know what I mean? It's like interviews with brewers. I never watch those. I'm just telling you the truth. I never watch those. I'm not interested in it. I mean, it's nice, but I like to taste the products. But to watch somebody talk about it, I'm just being honest, and I think honesty is important on the channel. Okay, so I got enough left for one, probably 2 more taste challenges. I think so too. Am I going to buy more Jim Beam? I doubt it. I mean, I've done it. It's like Jack Daniels. I bought it. I've gone through it. The Jim Beam Choice, which I can't get that anymore since it got discontinued 7 years ago. But Burley Sullivan says, you to you, Burley. So the Jim Beam is lighter. I'm sorry, that's the very old Barton is lighter. I poured the very old Barton, put it there, and poured Jim Beam there. All right. Wonder if Sazerac might pick up the vacant Faubourg distillery and brewery and convert it into a distillery. It's a good question. Somebody's going to buy the land, or at least lease it. She never owned the land. Dixie Brewing never owned it. They were just leasing it. That was a major failure for a number of reasons. I think they should just sell the rights to Dixie Beer and then somebody else could produce it. It would probably be popular. Some local person bought Dixie Beer and brought it back after a 3 or 4 year absence. Because nobody misses Faubourg. Well, maybe 10 people. And I don't see Faubourg beers anymore. Like they kept talking, oh, it's still going to be available. You'll still be able to get it. Yeah, where? It's all gone. I saw 1 can of Faubourg Lager at Total Wine and More the other day. 1 can. I'm sure it was out of date. I could see Pabst buying the rights to Dixie Beer. Now, that would be smart because they already own the rights to Jack's, another old Louisiana brewery, Jack's. And actually, they own the rights to Falstaff, another Louisiana brewery. Well, it didn't start in Louisiana, but we used to have a Falstaff brewery. Suho says, does Jim Beam use charcoal like Jack Daniels? Jim and Cola is just as good as Jack and Cola. They did use charcoal up until they discontinued Jim Beam Choice. Now it's, I think, all chill filter. I think I agree Jack Daniels is overpriced, but you're buying, you're paying for the, you're paying for the name, so. Wish it would rain. So the aroma here, I cut back. I only buy airplane bottles for liquor. Rest in peace to Faubourg Brewery. They should have kept Dixie beers. Yeah, it was very stupid. Very stupid idea. They went from steady sales. I mean, they were selling Dixie's. It wasn't a great seller, but it was a steady seller, I have to admit. And you could buy it in the tall cans, 24-ounce cans, and it went to Faubourg, changed it to Faubourg, and the sales were non-existent, basically. I mean, they might have sold a few. We bought them just to try them, try the different IPAs and all. But I mean, practically no one bought it. That's good for them. I knew they were going to die. I kept saying that they finished, and people were saying, "Oh, you're negative, you're negative. Y'all need to let it go. It's over. Grow up. It's a new world." I say, whatever you want to say, but they are finished. And go drive over there now and see how well it's doing. With its probably the grass this high and everything locked up. Okay. Drinking some red wine today. Cabernet Sauvignon, cheap brand, $13 per bottle. Oh, Joe Cobb, good. I just drank some red wine today. I bought a new brand. Well, it's a 2015 vintage, but it was really good. Y'all see it when I post the video. You'll see it. Usually takes me about a month to drink a bottle of wine, so about once a month I come out with a new bottle. Plus the huge debt to build that expensive brewery. Oh yeah, it was huge. It wasn't like some small mom and pop brewery. This thing was big, but big and empty now. Okay, these both smell like Kentucky straight bourbon. You get the vanilla, a little bit of charred oak, a little bit of honeysuckle nectar. Honestly, they don't smell that different one from another, and the price is the same, $11.99 for each of them. I can find each of them for $11.99. Well, at least theoretically. I know I can get the Beam. I know I can get Jim Beam for $11.99 because I saw it $11.99 4 days ago. The thing with IPAs is you really need to get them. Oh, it was 5 days ago. You need to get them fresh. If they're even 3 months old, they are not the same. That's true. Lager and wheat beer hold quality better, especially wheat beer. Yeah. Okay. Cheers. Taste time. It is raining. Good. We went through that drought last summer. I don't want to go through that again. Killed half my monkey grass in the front. That's true, Joe. Always check the best before date. Yeah. Nice. Typical standard bourbon. Light body on this one. Like I said, the vanilla charred oak, honeysuckle nectar. Is it strong? Like really got a lot of beefiness to it or anything? No. Let's go with the taste over here. Okay, maybe, and this is a maybe a little charred oak, maybe a higher proof taste, meaning a little bit more body probably, and so forth related to that. But basically the same flavor. So are you going to get much difference between these two? Getting the same price. And in fact, there is a very old Barton 80 proof. So you could actually buy an 80 proof very old Barton, and you can get 86 proof Jim Beam. So you can match them up. There are 86 proof Jim Beams, and there's 80 proof very old Barton. So you could find 80 versus 80, 86 versus 86, 90 versus 90. Don't know if there's a 100 proof Jim Beam, but so Barton, not that well known. So this will be much more obscure. If you ask the average person, have you ever heard of Barton, very old Barton bourbon, they would probably say, no, I've never heard of that. And most people can't get it anyway. I told you I bought it in Mississippi. I've never seen it in Louisiana. Jim Beam, obviously, everybody's heard of that. It's in so many movies and television commercials and just in people's houses and every bar in America, every liquor outlet in America. So this is the most famous and best-selling bourbon in the world. So common sense, yeah, everybody's heard of that one. I live 30 minutes away from a brewery that makes amazing IPAs, and every time I buy it in the local shops, still in date, but not anywhere close to the fresh can. See? I agree with that. Good Wednesday afternoon, says Tom. You too. Jim Beam was founded by the German immigrant Johannes Bim, who changed the spelling to Beam. Yeah, he wanted to assimilate into America. Cheers, Louisiana Liquor Reviews. Do you think Trump will be convicted of the charges in New York? I really don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Although I just don't know. Yeah, he anglicized his name. Bim to Beam. Our family did not. They were Zengel and they kept it Zengel, and they were Osanach and they kept it Osanach. You know what I mean? And those kind of things. Sweet. There's a theory that men grow beards to protect their face during physical combat. And have you considered shaving your beard, although it's manly? I do want to protect my face during physical combat, being a warrior king that I am. I might shave it off tomorrow. I'm going to trim it tomorrow. It's shaggy. But I keep it, trim, but I'm going to cut it way down. It could grow long. I'm like an apostle. I want to look like an apostle or a prophet. On my mother's side, the German name was Sheev. They never changed. Father's side is very English with Clarkson. Yeah, a lot of Brauns became Browns. Schmitz became Smith. What's your definition for someone that is an alcoholic? It's a hobbyist who spent too much time on the hobby. I only been 2 brewery tours in Angel City and Golden Road Brewery in this Los Angeles. I've been to a few beer tours in Tequila, Mexico. I'd like to do that. Yeah, like juggling, like Yingling was anglicized to Yingling, right? And Jung, Junj is young. People say young. If your beard always reminded me of a number of Confederate generals. Oh, thank you. Hopefully, Thomas Jackson. There are multiple definitions, really, like someone who drinks every day is different than a binge drinker. That's right. I'm not a binge drinker. I think that these are very close. I know they're very close. I'm tasting them. But that being said, this one here has more charred oak, and I remember I had my problems with binge drinking, but I'm still young. I would get out of that habit real quick, like today. It's going to catch up with you fast, and you're going to be sorry. So stop. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a modern Puritan when it comes to alcohol, but definitely do not want to get caught up in that habit. I thought Ron had a slight resemblance to PGT Beauregard. Well, you're right like always, Ron. I'm not always right. A lot of times I'm wrong, and I'll be the first to admit it. No, but as a comic, in all seriousness, I think I have not had an Angel City beer. Not good to drink liquor, really, alcohol every day. No, it's not. Well, sorry to hear that. Okay. Your aunt smoked for 60 years and she lived to 76. 76 is not really that old, though. What time is it where you live? It's 4 p.m. here in Van Nuys, California, in Los Angeles. 2 hours ahead. We're at 6 o'clock. oh, 6 o'clock 08. One of the oldest women alive is like 110 smoked. Yeah. A little bit like General Burnside, but hopefully not General Burnside, who sent the troops up the hill at Fredericksburg, Mary Heights. Yeah. Yeah, Burnside was not the best. Okay, anyway, I'm saying this is Jim Beam because it's lighter. Is it better? It's the very old Barton better. I think it's a little better, and it's the same price. So if you see it, yeah, buy it. What the heck? Your friends might say, "Why you bought that weird? Why you bought that weird bourbon?" And I know how a lot of your friends are probably like my friends. They won't try it. You know, it's like, why do you want to buy that kind of stuff? Just drink something good like Jim Beam. And my answer is always like, well, why are you so like defensive about it? Or not defensive about it. That's not the right word. Like you're so like perturbed about it. Like that's a problem. It's like, okay, I bought something different. That's not really a problem. It's just that you could try something different. You know, I don't see why that's like an issue. But for many people it is for some strange reason. Okay, I like to try different things. Okay, so Jim Beam it is. You see, this thing's a little darker. I want to be sure on this. I think I messed up the taste challenge. I don't know. I think I just did something wrong. And I'm the kind of person that if there's like anything wrong with the challenge, I don't want to take credit. Like you say, well, if you get it wrong, you want to redo it. No, but I'm saying I got it right and I want to redo it. I got it right and I want to redo it because I want to make sure. Hate to waste this though. Oh well, it's hardly any left. Still, like to drag it out, as long as possible. All right. Keep on raining out there. You just keep on raining, you hear? I really want to save this. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know, man. It's funny. It's a little funny. It's like when a helicopter was flying over and Karen said, "It's funny. It's funny." Okay. Jean Pierre says, I like both. And do you always drink cheap stuff? Who, me? No. My family on the English side are all drunks, and on the German side, they barely touch it. Huh. Just goes to show you. Hope you're feeling better today, Jean. Definitely. I hate a lot of these tequilas use sweeteners. Do they do that with bourbon too? Some use natural flavors, as they call it. Cheap tequila does that. Never drink Jose Cuervo. No, unless you get the Jose Cuervo pure 100% agave. I bet you're happy to be done with that Texas 254 blended whiskey. I'm not done with that. I got 90%, 85% of the bottle left. It's going to taste like pickle juice. Jose equals hangover juice. Well, Jose Cuervo doesn't give me a hangover because I don't drink it. I don't drink any liquor. I just do these tastings, and that's it. Put it on the shelf and done. Never Casamigos, too. Went to Clooney. So being just as good as Jack Daniels, both are bourbon from Kentucky. To me, I'm Jack Daniels from Tennessee, but yeah, it's a bourbon. I love Buffalo Trace. Me too. Casadores. I'd like to try that one. Is my go-to tequila. I'd like to try Casadores. I see it all the time. Okay, this is it. This is the final assessment because I'm not taking credit for something I didn't earn. What are some of your hobbies when you're not doing streaming? Like comic books, as you can see, um, reading about history and government. Like before I came on here, I was watching recorded parliamentary debates in the Senate of Belize and the House of Assembly in Belize. It's a true story. They were getting angry. They were getting wound up. They were saying, you accuse people of all these things because you don't like to be criticized." And I was watching it. And their parliament is very basic. Their parliament, this is a country now, but their parliament is sort of like what you would see in America in a town hall, like a city hall. It's very small, very basic. And it's kind of like in the Bahamas. I noticed that too, because when I went to the Bahamas on a trip, I went to a parliamentary debate. And I was thinking their national capital is sort of like our parish council. We don't have counties in Louisiana, we have parishes, but it's like the same thing. But and they're all in one building, in the Bahamas. So it's like the House of Commons, and then upstairs is the Senate, but they were closed. They weren't in session, so I couldn't go to the Senate because they weren't operating. And then they had the Supreme Court across the room, across the hall. They said that's the Supreme Court, but it wasn't. It's not really a Supreme Court. It's like a district court that you would call it here. They were having a murder trial. Never been to a murder trial in my life. So I said, I was thinking to myself, I said, this is just like on television. But because actually their Supreme Court, their real Supreme Court, because they can appeal to London, England, the King's Privy Council. They have a special court for that, for like the Bahamas and Jamaica and all that. But they show those trials on YouTube also, and I was watching some of those. It's very technical. Okay, my bad, Jack Daniels from Tennessee. The final assessment with the Civil War. Oh, you mean the war against the South? Have ended differently if Thomas Stonewall Jackson wouldn't have taken his nighttime reconnaissance ride at Chancellorsville. Well, it could have, because he would have taken that order to take that hill if practical. Take those heights if practical. He would have taken that the way it was meant, which was take it at all costs, you see. But I can't blame the other commander, because that was the order: take the height if practical. And his assessment was it was not practical. But he didn't have that kind of like interaction with General Lee, so maybe, you never know. Belize is quite a country. I'd like to go there. Belize it or not. What is a bourbon? We're not going to. I got to get off of this. We're about to review Bohemia Lager. Are you active in your local township, parish, city? Well, I vote, and I call the council people sometimes. I've called the council person many times, and I call the code enforcement and stuff like that. But I don't constantly call them. No longer trust the cheap whiskeys like Black Velvet, Canadian Mist, Evan Williams, Kessler. No, I trust them. I think I learned that. Okay, that's it. We got to wrap it up, folks. Time to wrap it up. Yes. This has got to be the very old Barton, because it's much stronger. He lives in Canada. Never seen Canadian Mist. Much stronger charred oak. Got it. I just wanted to say, I wanted to make sure it wasn't an excuse to drink more. But yeah, so I got it right. So what am I now? It's 6 wins, 2 losses. I think that's where I am. 6-2, or it might be 7-2. I'll double check. But I keep think I'm going to keep winning, keep winning, keep winning. Well, let's be fair. Canadian Mist was designed to be bland. True story. If you look at old 1967 whatever ads, magazine ads, it describes it in detail. Now they go into pretty good detail. And I think that was Barton, right? But they were saying Canadian Mist is designed, like they're saying this on the advertisement. Canadian Mist is designed to be bland because we want it to be mixable, and then they go into all these details. So it's bland on purpose. Like you say, well, what? You make a bourbon, Canadian whiskey, very similar to bourbon, but you design it to be bland on purpose. Exactly. They do design it to be bland on purpose. So you can't talk bad about a product that tastes the way it was designed to taste. You see, those cheap whiskeys are not filtered properly and add caramel color. Well, some of them do. They don't all. Kessler might. Cheap whiskey gets you more drunk than prices. Okay, well, I don't know. Look, I don't want to get into that. I'll see y'all in about 3 minutes with the Bohemia. All right. Bye-bye.